Hey guys, red-black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro-Negro channel. Good morning, good afternoon here in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. We're back again with that moment when we say today there's Mengão. It's been a while since we followed a Flamengo match, ever since the important titles we won, like the Club World Cup. We miss watching Mengão. Even if it's the youngsters playing today, we really miss seeing Mengão play. Now here's the thing, I'm bringing some very important information in this video talking about the possible departure of one of these youngsters. From Flamengo's youth academy, Flamengo has some great talents that we know will still make it big, break out, and others that we need to help recover. We're going to be talking about all of this. Now I need to start this video by talking about Abel Ferreira's situation. The guy went back to attacking Flamengo, went back to complaining he's still hurting from the Libertadores final. Abel Ferreira is still suffering because of the Libertadores final. It's impressive that he talks about an asterisk, a clean final, a final where Flamengo won the championship without any problems, and he taking advantage of the start of the Paulista Championship to praise video assistant referee and attack Flamengo is impressive. I'm amazed at how much of a sore loser he is. This shows me that the Palmeiras fan, the coach of Palmeiras himself, they think they're the best thing ever and can't accept losing. We mentioned yesterday that the Palmeiras board was upset about no longer being the biggest champions in Brazil. Flamengo winning the Supercopa against Corinthians would add to their status as Brazil's top champion, but they're in a tough situation. Palmeiras fans, rivals of Corinthians, will now have to support Flamengo. So Flamengo can increase their lead in national titles since the Supercopa counts, and they won't support Corinthians. Palmeiras fans, comment below. Here you'll root for your biggest rival because you hate Flamengo. I think you'll end up rooting for your rival just so Flamengo doesn't pull ahead of Palmeiras. They took the phrase off the bus, the biggest champion in Brazil, and the fans got even more upset with Abel, with the management. And Abel made a big statement in that press conference trying to, talk a bit about this wounded pride, that's still bleeding. And then he was trying to justify something that they themselves, Leila Pereira herself, said that the biggest mistake was theirs. Leila took the weight off. At the time of the refereeing issue, now after some time, he comes and talks about the refereeing. Abel had already discussed the asterisk issue before, yet he brings it up and attacks again. Flamengo starts the season, and that's Abel's strategy. And he complains, says there are certain things he can't control. He must be talking about Ramon Abate Abel, the referee who was suspended, who they expected to keep working, and he himself defended Ramon Abate Abel so many times, right? So that's a tactic, that's Abel Ferreira's strategy. He went back to the same strategy, the season starts, and he doesn't change the strategy. His strategy is to complain about refereeing in the Brasileirão to prepare for the Brazilian League, which starts in January. To already start with Palmeiras being favored by the refereeing. That strategy, Abel, is old, well known, and we won't fall for it. This strategy of yours to try to manipulate the refereeing with pressure, it won't work. Last year, you kept complaining about Ramon Abel, and he stopped refereeing Palmeiras games. We all saw the result, right? In the last few rounds, Palmeiras practically didn't score any points. So we have Abel's statement here, which I think it's important for us to react to see what this sore loser coach, I'll say it again, a really bad loser had to say. What did he say? Look.
Even video assistant referee learned. You didn't see it, did you? I'm not sure if the video assistant referee in the Libertadores was different.
But look, even video assistant referee learned. I don't know if you saw it, right? I don't know if the video assistant referee in the Libertadores was different from this one.
It's really sad, isn't it, when you see a much worse play happen and you followed the rules with video assistant referee and in a Libertadores final with a supposedly
top video assistant referee and referee.
There's the proof. As a coach, sometimes Palmeiras can be annoying, but we often say that Palmeiras
is not annoying. No, you're not the coach of Palmeiras and you're annoying, no. You do this as a strategy. It's your strategy to start the year already putting pressure on the referees to get a lot of mistakes in your favor. We're not fools and we're not going to stop exposing your strategy. An absurd strategy, the famous Dick Vigorista one, okay?
Palmeiras was incompetent in the final, but no one is going to take away that asterisk.
Don't go putting an asterisk on Flamengo's title. No, man. Who are you? Who are you, Abel? A guy who has assistants who talk about Brazilians the way you guys do. With no respect at all. A guy who has no respect for women, who treated the reporter the way he did. Who are you? What right do you have to talk, Abel? You're a good coach, yes, but you talk too much, you say nonsense, and you do all this on purpose as a strategist, trying to put pressure on the referees already for the Brazilian championship. Talking about asterisks, who are you? You watch your mouth, because the only Libertadores title you have, the only truly relevant international title you have. It happened because of a mistake by a player you recommended signing, later a blunderer who just gave it away, a real screw-up. Andreas Saifud, that's it. Thanks to him, thank Andreas, who is your player today, for you having a Libertadores title, okay?
And today you had proof of that?
That's not proof of anything. First of all, not proof of anything. And he says it again. Okay, he's so upset with Abel Ferreira that he brings up the video assistant referee issue in the Libertadores again. Okay, so Abel there, not accepting it. Let's listen to what Abel said. Challenge?
Challenge is pride and cold pride.
Challenge and a bit of anger.
Also due to several events last year.
Wounded pride and a bit of anger about the things that happened last year. Look, I'm going to say something. He wants to claim that things went wrong last year and now pay attention to what he's going to say about the control. Look.
Just from my control, from our control, others not. I hope they don't happen again, but from what?
Some things were under my control, others were not. He's talking about the refereeing and he's complaining about the fact that they punished. Ramon Abate Abel, whom he defended, said he was an excellent referee and shouldn't be punished. Do you remember? So he defended Ramon Abate Abel, but now claims things got out of control. What's going on? It's Ramon Abate Abel. He won't keep refereeing for you guys, right? The referee who made the most mistakes in favor of Palmeiras. That's really unfortunate, isn't it, man? It's unfortunate that the guy has the nerve to say there are things he can't control.
And we control them. Let's, as I told you, let's challenge ourselves regarding the first question. Anyone who's been paying attention knows that over these 6 years, I've always done things differently. But I understand soccer, its language, tactics, and dynamics. It's much harder to understand, and maybe it doesn't get many clicks because people aren't that interested in knowing about it. That's easier. The coach criticizing referees, talking to you or someone else, players arguing, or just one player involved. You have to give the information, but if you pay attention, we've already done everything here.
And he talks about complaining about the refereeing and all that. I don't know what, but it's like he doesn't complain. That's the funniest part. And then he says that he went to talk about tactics and all with new things that he always has every year and so on. But you guys can't notice that, the way he treats the press professionals as ignorant, and you won't complain about that. It seems like the São Paulo press just stays quiet. The way he talks about you, the São Paulo press, saying you can't understand the things he does because, as he says, you are ignorant. That's how I understood it. I wanted you to comment here. That's how I understood it. I might be getting it wrong, but to me, he makes it clear that the things he does, the press just can't understand. So I'm tired of saying it here. He's really bad with words. He's a sore loser. He used to be extremely sexist. And people complain about BAP and company regarding sexism. There was nothing sexist about them. He talked about the reporter's physical appearance. It wasn't sexism. Now I said that what he did was wrong, that he shouldn't have talked about her appearance. Look, they've talked about male reporters' appearance too. That's also wrong, and that's not feminism either. Do you understand what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with female sexism. It has nothing to do with Abel. When he's asked by a reporter about a situation, he says he doesn't owe anyone an explanation. He doesn't owe anyone an explanation. To her, the only women he owes an explanation to are Layla, his wife, and his mother. Okay, so what? He argues. The journalist was asking him the question, saying that he didn't owe her an explanation. A totally valid question. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was nothing out of the ordinary, just a question that was part of the context about the game and everything else. And he, upset, made it clear that he wouldn't answer a woman because the only women he owed explanations to were his wife and his mother. And Leila Pereira. Okay, so if there's anyone, that's it. We don't see Leila complaining, right? She said she wouldn't comment on what happened with Abel, now with Bape, with Zico. Everyone likes to bash because it has to do with Flamengo. When it has to do with Flamengo, everyone wants to bash. That's the truth, okay? Us, so bringing you some important information here. Look at the Turkish journalist Ekrem Konur. He said that Flamengo is leading the race to sign the Colombian striker from America de Cali, Joel Sebastian Romero. Okay, this news was brought by Riza Simplicio. He plays there, right? There are teams in Europe interested too, in the Olympic Cup in Marseille. And we know he's a player, he's young, he's coming to Flamengo's youth team, right? The striker from America de Cali from Colombia. He's coming to Flamengo's youth team, but he's already playing professionally at America de Cali. Okay, this information was brought by Raiza Simplicio, and it's important for us to mention because even though it's a signing for the youth team, he's a player who already plays professionally. Okay, yeah. It's also information that besides Palmeiras, who are trying to sign John Árias from Wolverhampton, Cruzeiro is also in the deal trying to sign Árias. Pedrinho has said he won't invest more, especially after Gerson's arrival. So Cruzeiro is out. So Flamengo won't get into a bidding war for Almada, as was said earlier, nor for John Árias. Vasco da Gama doesn't have the funds to sign him. They were interested, but they don't have the money. But the information coming in is that Árias has already made it clear, again internally, that if he returns to Brazil, he'll only come back to Fluminense. Fluminense has total priority and he would make it easier to return to Fluminense, okay? So the chances for the clubs that want to sign Árias, like Palmeiras itself, are reduced because Árias favors Fluminense. That's it. A priority for Fluminense, if he returns to Brazilian football, is to bring here some important news regarding Flamengo's youth academy. Also from Turkish journalist Ekrem Konur, who frequently discusses the Brazilian football market. He has brought some news that we even checked and Flamengo denied, but what about this one? Regarding the defender Iago, who is valued in the market, he hasn't signed his renewal with Flamengo yet at the end of the year. He could leave in the middle of the year. He can already sign a pre-contract, so Flamengo might need to negotiate the player. There's a race to sign Iago, according to the journalist, with interest from Everton, Brentford, and Bruges from Belgium. So teams from the Premier League and Belgium are interested in signing Iago. Bahia was the only club, Bahia from Brazil, Bahia from the City Group nowadays, right? It was the only club that made a formal offer of 2 million euros. And then there was some other issues regarding goals and so on, and Flamengo didn't accept it. Flamengo rejected Bahia's offer. So according to the journalist, Premier League clubs could offer something around 8 to 9 million euros for the defender. And Flamengo, also knowing that they might end up losing the player at the end of the year, might end up negotiating is Iago there. We also have some other important transfer market information here about Flamengo signing a goalkeeper. And I also want to tell you that earlier today, Jorge Jesus sent me a message, right? I have the proof, right? But people used to make fun of me. I really do talk to Jorge Jesus. I've been talking to Jorge Jesus for a long time. And today he sent me a message saying, my friend, I need your help. I'm competing for the best coach award in Portugal. I'm winning, I'm leading. And then I told him, no, I'll let everyone know. Okay, so Jorge Jesus, on our Insta, on our Twitter, it's even easier for you to access our X, right? The old Twitter. Paparazzo Rubro-Negro. The latest posts have the Bola link from the Bola newspaper portal, so you can vote for Jorge Jesus, okay? So, he's in the running for best Portuguese coach of the 21st century, has won titles with Flamengo, and is being recognized with Jose Mourinho, Abel Ferreira, and Vitor Pereira. We can't let Abel Ferreira beat Jorge Jesus, right, my friends? For God's sake, he's such a sore loser. So far, Jorge Jesus is leading the vote with 3,533 votes, and our people here can really increase that number. Jose Mourinho follows with 3,221 and Abel Ferreira with 2,398. Let's vote and help out. It's on our X, right? At Papa Bar, people can go there and also follow us on X. I want to remind you that you can rent your car. Are you in Florida? With Maps, rent a car. Maps, they have luxury cars starting at just over $70 a day. You just need to get in touch from Brazilian to Brazilian with top-notch service. Maps is really great with ultra new cars. So man, you just need to look and you'll find a price that fits your budget. If you're coming to Florida and also want a cooler experience with a luxury car, they have sports cars and also tech cars like the Cybertruck, which I've been driving today. I left it with my sister, but you can be there taking the opportunity to check out the Maps rent-a-car service. Remember, you can lose weight healthily and grow more hair. I'll leave the QR code on the screen. Point your phone to get an evaluation. You can check out the My Slim weight loss program. I lost over 74 kilos. You can lose weight too, and you can do it in a healthy way without hair loss. My cabelo is always close to you anywhere in Brazil. If your city doesn't have one, for sure the next city will. So get in touch and ask for the Paparazzo Rubro-Negro discount. The folks at Mais Cabelo, so Mais Cabelo there. Leader in the weight loss segment, now already in Brazil and also in hair treatment. Look, we have all our other sponsors there in the pinned comment in the description. And you can secure your spot at the Supercopa do Brasil in Brasilia, at the Recopa Sudamericana in Buenos Aires, and at Maracanã with a ticket to Maracanã. Brasileirão Games, Copa do Brasil, Libertadores, Carioca, all with tickets at Maracanã. Just look for Haroldo's Caravan, because with Haroldo's Caravan, you won't have any complaints. There's nothing on the complaint sites, you know, because it's a serious company that doesn't leave you outside, doesn't keep you from your dream. If you have your dream, you keep making your dream come true. Do you know why? Because these guys do serious work. They're people who work from one Flamengo supporter to another. Years and years and years of work together with the Mengão fans. Let's continue here talking about the issue of player transfers and Flamengo's signings. Haroldo's Caravan is there, also in the pinned comment and in the description. It's about the goalkeeper Andrew from Gil Vicente. Gil Vicente is already looking for a replacement for Andrew, and they will only let Andrew go, as I said earlier, when they sign this replacement. Bruno Lemos, who works there with Mauro Santana from the Mauro Santana channel, said that Gil Vicente has a very well-advanced agreement with Flamengo to let him go. So the goalkeeper Andrew, who is highly rated by Felipe and also by the fans, man, he's a really good goalkeeper. In fact, even though some people think he doesn't play well with his feet, he actually does. That's actually one of the things that brought him closer to Flamengo. So Moldovan, who is currently on loan to Oviedo and whose rights belong to Atletico de Madrid, is one of the targets for Gil Vicente to replace Andrio. Once they sign a goalkeeper, they'll let the current one go to Flamengo. Moldovan also plays for Romania's national team, so Gil Vicente wants him to let Andriu go to Flamengo. Andriu is the goalkeeper. Flamengo's second match in the Carioca Championship will have a full house. Bangu announced on social media that tickets for the match against Flamengo are sold out. Moça Bonita Stadium holds 9,064 fans. Flamengo debuts in the state championship today at 6 p.m. I'll give you the likely lineup for the game against Portuguesa in Volta Redonda. On Wednesday, they play Bangu and Moça Bonita, and we know the stadium will be packed, almost 10,000 people. It's Moça Bonita, not Moça Bonita. It's been a long time since we've played there, right? So it's not a big stadium, but it's very charming. So man, look, only Flamengo fans here. FP Design made a jersey concept. Look at this jersey concept here that the fan made. It's really awesome, right? Remember, a jersey that Flamengo has already used too? I think it's really cool. But this one here is pretty nice. I wouldn't do it with that one that kept changing color here, remember? But I would. But this gray one looks really cool, very nice. If I approve it, it's approved. I don't know if the guys liked it here, but people are already saying, I want it. Look at Adidas, look at this and everything else. So we also have here to show you the probable lineup for the whole Flamengo team. Under 20. Guys, the game is at 6 post Meridian. Flamengo Television will stream it for free on YouTube for international viewers. João Guilherme with footage, and also Globo and Premiere will broadcast it throughout Brazil. Check it out. Flamengo should come with Leo Nanete, Daniel Sales, João Vitor, Iago, and Johnny Pablo, Lucio Anderson, or Lucas Vieira, Guilherme Gomes. Keep an eye on Guilherme, okay? Elation plays really well. He's definitely going to shine this year. Joshua, who's fantastic, and Douglas Telles, who's also a top scorer, plays really well too. Coach Bruno Pivete. And just a reminder, Ryan Roberto, a standout from the under-20s, is injured. The fans wanted to see Ryan Roberto on the field, who's also going to do great this season, but he's injured and won't be playing. Is that right? Follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Thank you so much for your company. Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Big hug. Thanks. I'm out. See you.